Hello folks, welcome to OTD, also known as On the Deck, where you can get all the sports you need in 10 minutes. My name is Adam Orduna. This is my mom, Gina.
He is the journalist.
He's the enthusiast.
I am enthusiastic because I think we can finally stop talking about the NBA after today.
Yes, we are going to finally put the NBA to rest for the rest of the summer.
Yes.
We have finally met our ending here with the NBA awards. We finally have some resolution on who the MVP is. We've got the Sixth Man of the Year award. We also have some fashion that we want to talk about, and the Rookie of the Year award as well. And oh yeah, let's not forget the Defensive Player of the Year. So those are some of the main things that we want to highlight. Obviously, you have the All-NBA team offense and defense.
They had like an all-rookie team
all-rookie
too, that stuff, but
as well. But we want to highlight the MVP. Were you surprised by who actually won the MVP? Because we already had our predictions. Were you happy? Were you upset? Did you think it went to the right person? What were your thoughts on the MVP?
Well, I think we were both right for once. You're usually right. I'm usually wrong. So both of us were right. It was Russell Westbrook. And my understanding is he got like 69% of the first place votes.
Yes.
So it wasn't close. It wasn't like 50-50. And I believe it went him. And then the three candidates were he and then oh my gosh, from the Rockets, James Harden. Sorry, he and James Harden, and then Kawhi Leonard, and it basically the voting went in that order.
Yes.
So yeah, I think he absolutely deserved it. He's the first player since Oscar Robertson to average a triple-double, and 30+ points or what have you. And so I'm really proud of him, and I love Russ, and I think. Considering he had to sit back and watch his #1 boy go off and win a championship with someone else, this is not a consolation prize. He earned it, but it was a nice way to end the season for Russ.
Right, and everyone talks about the Michael Jordan factor. Michael could win it every year. Same thing with LeBron James. LeBron James could win it every year. I was really glad, not that it has necessarily anything to do with LeBron as a person, but I was glad to see somebody else really take that plunge, and I thought Russell did a great job this year. Again, yeah, you could argue a LeBron or Kawhi or James, but I think when it really came down to you take a certain player off of that team, where do they actually stand? And the most devastation to the team that person would be on would be Russell Westbrook in the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Well, can we talk about that real quick? Because I know there's other stuff to talk about, but I've heard other people in sports say, oh, that's a terrible argument. If you take any player off a team, they'll be bad. That's true. But look at some of the teams. You take the Clippers, and when somebody's always unhealthy, they still manage to win. You take the Warriors, KD got hurt. They took off and started winning. There are other teams where a player can go down, and they're still okay.
Right.
But we're saying that if you took Russell Westbrook off the Rockets, do they even make the playoffs? The answer is no. Obviously, if you take LeBron off the Cavs, they're going back to being one of the worst teams in the league. That's a special circumstance, and LeBron could always be in the MVP conversation. But to just dismiss it offhand and say, well, that applies to anyone if you take anyone off, that's not what we're saying. Because if you took James Harden off the Rockets, or let's say this, you took Kawhi, a better one, take Kawhi off the Spurs, you still have one of the world's best coaches there. You still have a team around them, and the Spurs still would have done some winning.
Right.
You take Russell Westbrook off the Oklahoma City Thunder, and they're done. Right. There's just nothing left.
Well, and I happen to believe that with this year's roster for the Cleveland Cavaliers, that even without LeBron James, they still slide into that 5th or 6th
right, they would have made the playoffs. Fair
especially
enough.
coming out of the East, where there was really limited competition.
That's true.
And they might even be 3rd or 4th coming out of the East. But with LeBron James, it just solidifies them being an actual
contender.
We're talking about literally one person making an entire impact the entire time.
Right.
And that is Russell Westbrook. So I was very happy that he won the MVP. It has nothing to do with James Harden as a person or Kawhi Leonard. They are elite athletes, phenomenal basketball players, but Russ deserved it, and so I was really happy for him.
I'm super happy for him.
Let's talk about the Defensive Player of the Year.
Yes!
This was a guy that more than deserved it. He should have got it last year.
He's been runner-up the last 2 years.
Yes, he should have got it the year before as well. Draymond Green, your guy.
The Dark Knight. Honestly, it's hot out here, but I'm wearing black today in honor of the Dark Knight. Draymond deserved it.
Yes.
He should have got it the last 2 years as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
and I could not be happier for him.
He plays he covers all the positions 1 through 5. He plays all the positions 1 through 5. He can block shots. He can steal the basketball. He's a rebounding machine.
Fearless.
He's an amazing basketball player, and I was really glad that he got it this year. In the past, it's
and by the way, Draymond's not just a defensive guy; he's a two-way player as well.
Yes.
But his defense, who had to guard LeBron last year? Draymond.
Yes.
Okay,
Draymond,
moving on.
Andre, yes, exactly.
And Andre Iguodala too, but you know what I mean.
Right. Well, okay, let's go to the Rookie of the Year. Okay, this is kind of an interesting one because there were some pretty good rookies this year, and the Milwaukee Bucks are an extremely young team.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of talent. They are a sleeper team. If they can keep their head on straight and they can cultivate a winning atmosphere, continue to have a winning atmosphere, they will be a team to really be reckoned with. Their young rookie, Malcolm Brogdon, won the Rookie of the Year this year. He's a guard. He can dunk. He can jump out the gym. He can shoot. He's also one of those two-way players. He's got a lot of ability, a lot of talent, and so I was a little surprised it did go to him. But at the same time, I felt like, hey, you know, you got a young group of guys with the Bucks, and you drafted this kid, and he's showing out. So
well, there were
awesome.
other rookies who were great who just got injured. Joel Embiid, for example.
Yeah.
But Buddy Hield made the All-Rookie team,
Yeah,
and I think he was in that conversation too. So
yes,
I mean, there was a good rookie class this year.
And speaking of Joel Embiid, Embiid came out of KU in 2014. He hasn't played in the last 2 years.
That's right. That's
but
right.
He made the All-Rookie team because this was his first year that he actually played. I think of Ben Simmons, who was drafted #1 overall to the 76ers as well, staying within that same team. He may have won it this year as well. So there are some guys out there that may win it next year. There are some guys that are still out there, and we'll see what happens. But kudos to Malcolm, and hopefully he can continue to have a good career.
Yeah, well, then the 6th man of the year was Eric Gordon from the Rockets.
Yes.
That's basically, you know, you got your starting 5, and then who's the 6th guy that comes off the bench and makes the biggest impact, and Eric Gordon got that. And then the coach of the year, that's your dude.
Yeah, Mike D'Antoni. And so Mike D'Antonio, all of those guys are from the Rockets. Eric Gordon, Mike D'Antonio, and Lou Williams, who was also fighting for 6th man of the year, who was basically coming off the bench. He was traded from the Lakers midway through because the Lakers were trying to tank, and so he came in on a kind of a weird situation. He was basically too good to be on the Lakers team,
right? If they were trying to lose.
Very interesting on how that works out. It's like, don't you want a good guy on your team,
Not
a guy
if you're
that
trying
can
to
score
lose.
points and who can make an impact? But they traded him to the Rockets, and he was also coming off the bench, so he was kind of in a two-man race with his own teammate there. And then their head coach, Mike D'Antonio, came in and did his thing. So, you know, he's an offensive wizard. I keep saying D'Antonio. That's the Michigan State coach, Mike D'Antoni. Excuse me. He's an offensive wizard. He's not known for his defense, but he knows how to get guys open and put up points.
He does, and he uses those analytics, and he figures out where the threes need to come from, and they didn't shoot them down.
In Phoenix, he really had a good thing going down there. So those are some of the awards we wanted to highlight for this year's NBA awards. Again, this will basically be our last episode with the NBA. I know we've been doing a lot
for
of
a
NBA
little
talk.
while at least.
I'm actually okay with moving on because we've done all the playoffs, we've done all the finals, and so
we've done
now
all the draft.
Yeah, the draft stuff.
Well, the NBA season, think about it. It kind of starts the end of October, 1st of November.
Right.
And here it is, the end of June. And, you know, that's a lot of time to talk NBA.
It's a long season. Well, let's talk about the fashion real quick. And then we want to finish up with the WWE, as I'm sure a lot of people's timelines on Twitter and on Facebook were blowing up last night with what happened on WWE SmackDown, WWE Raw. But let's talk about the fashion. I know there's some things you wanted to bring up.
Yeah, it was just, I think when you think of NBA now, you kind of think fashion next, because anybody who wasn't at the NBA All Awards was basically at Paris Fashion Week. And then the people who did show up for the red carpet, Draymond, the Dark Knight, had this beautiful blue tuxedo shirt and some black shorts.
Yeah.
You got Russell Westbrook, the MVP, didn't wear a suit coat at all and had this really great blue tie, but he had matching blue sunglasses he wore indoors. You had some other people with the shiny purple pants. The fashion was just really pushing the limits, you know. And I get it, some people are fashion forward. I'm gonna wear these purple polka dots with this lime green stripe. But, you know, it's like I kind of miss a little bit of the traditional.
The
classic.
The NBA is a lot about theatrics, and when people are coming into the facilities, that's what they're wearing. They're wearing those crazy.
Well, they were all
outfits.
in Paris for Fashion Week, so there you go.
Little shorts about making fun of the players coming into the games, which is funny. All right, well, we quickly want to talk about the WWE Raw event that took place last night. And we try not to talk about this man anymore because it's just
we're over it.
It's overkill. But LeVar Ball and his sons Lonzo and LaMelo were at WWE last night, and so it was just a small little segment. But they were promoting BBB, and LeVar got on stage acting crazy, and you know, this man just won't go away. He just continues to find a way to continue to be.
I have some people in my life that are like that, just won't go away either. But honestly, I didn't think much of it. He was up there making a fool. Everybody knows the WWE is scripted and it's for fun. And he was, you know, the only thing was, I guess, LaMelo's mic was hot and he dropped the N-word twice while he was doing that. But honestly, if LeVar Ball wants to be at the clown show, I think that's where he belongs, to be honest with you. Him and The Miz up there with their shirts off doing the Karate Kid.
Yeah, the only thing, like you said, is, you know, the LaMelo dropping the N-bomb. We got to stop that. The N-bomb in any way, shape, or form has to be eradicated from any language that anyone ever says, ever.
And please check out our show. We do a whole show about the N-word.
We just can't allow it, and it can't be funny. It's not slang. It's not cool. It's not allowed anywhere at any time. And so that was a little frustrating.
Well, Lakers, you wanted Showtime? Here you go.
Oh, yeah. It may not be the Showtime you want, but it's definitely going to be some sort of Showtime.
Well, guess what? Luckily, we don't have to talk about it for a long time.
Yes, exactly. We're done with the NBA for a while. We want to say we're happy what happened. Good job, the Warriors, for winning. Good job, Russ, for getting your MVP. And we'll see what happens next season. Well, anyways, we want to say we appreciate your time, folks. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again.